It's Friday. It's 4 o'clock. I've lost my voice. Although I do sound husky, like a husk. Yeah, I don't know. I just had this throat thing for ages now. I do blame Rob because he was sick last week and then probably passed it on to me. Anyway, I hope you are well, better than I am. And remember to get in touch. Short Fuse on Twitter. Interesting day after the decimation in the elections of all major parties. The world is about to fall apart. Bring on the revolution. Not so much of a revolution in energy this week, but a little bit of a contentious, rebellious stroke, and that's to do with money. So our top story, energy customers are missing out on about £5.1 million of compensation from network operators. And that's from Ofgem. So what happens is, we all know that if you have an interruption in supply, you can make a complaint to the supplier, you're entitled to compensation, etc., etc. But you're also entitled to the same with the DNOs. So the power companies that bring the power to you. So UK Power Networks, Western Power Distribution, all those people that work from grid down to bring the local power to you. And Ofgem has found that last year, I think the figures were £5.1 million of compensation was not claimed. So that could be because you haven't been connected, your repair line, repair took too long. So there's all these pathways that you have got and people haven't done it. Now, this is quite interesting because the DNOs, the network operators, are pretty much monopolies, really. So they're regionally based. They're based on what the old grid was. And what they do is they go, we'll provide you power for this area. We provide redundancy, we provide service, backup, and Ofgem gives them a contract, but basically they're getting paid, right? They're getting paid without any competition. And they have to operate under certain rules, they get a certain budget, they've got to obviously provide value within that budget. It's like an internal market. But the fact that this 5.1 million hasn't been claimed, well, in the end, that goes into their bottom line. Now, you could say that it's our fault. If we're the customer, we don't know about it, we don't claim it, who can blame them? But you could also say that the DNOs don't make it that easy because there is this confusion of what they do. And, you know, if you've had a building, so you've built a factory or whatever, and you've had it all connected and your suppliers putting in certain bits, but the DNO is putting in other bits. Something goes wrong, which bit is which? And I think that when it comes to the whole, let's put it this way, the way that we're held account in the energy sector, suppliers always get it in the neck, always. They're always number one. Bill's gone up. I've been cut off. You know, fat cat bosses make money. But the DNOs who sit there with no competition, frankly, because they're part of the way the section. Not their fault, don't get me wrong, but if you're the DNO for the Southeast, you have no competition. That's what your job is. So, but they don't seem to get as much sort of bad publicity. I'm not saying that they should, but I do realise that this shows you there's still a lot of confusion about what they do. So Ofgem's advice is there should be easier, more robust processes by which people can make the claims and also for people to look at them themselves. I think it's an interesting story because as we get into more and more electric vehicles, as we get into more and more what they call behind the meter, so that people are building ways of connecting to the grid, the role of the DNO and how they supply you with the cabling that allows you to sell your electricity will become more important, and the service you get from them will become more important. So I think that's one story to watch. What's your thoughts? Give me a shout, email us, get in touch. Now it's time, I think, for the news. That is not Priyanka.
Yeah, I just haven't done my makeup today.
She's going to kill you for that.
Hello.
Go on then, pray for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, well first I need to check the order. Right.
You don't know the order of your stories.
No, I know the order, of course I do. I'm only joking.
Pree's not here.
We're screwed.
We are screwed. She's working from home.
Yeah.
But instead I've got him to do the news.
Yeah. Upgrade.
Blimey. It's like going back to Windows 7. Okay, right, go on then.
Windows 7, Windows 97. Okay, so everyone will probably know this already, but fill you in again. We've got this story came out earlier in the week, but it was about the fracking commissioner.
I do think it's really weird that we're both dressed in white today. Looks very odd, doesn't it?
We're like angels.
We're A something anyway. Yes, she decided to go.
Yes, after only 6 months in the position.
What was her job? Explain to the viewers what her job was.
Her official job title is the Commissioner for Shale Gas, and she was basically, organising the shale revolution across England because, people say shale and fracking is very important at the moment to secure our own energy independence.
Even more so if you...
We don't want to buy gas from Russia. I'd agree with that one, but that's, what she was saying. And that we need to do lots of fracking, sorry. Nearly, but not quite. Do lots of fracking to basically get cheaper gas and become more independent. But there's a law on fracking.
And we've got the picture of a small tremor.
Somewhere up here behind.
That's on the other side, you fool.
Yeah. Seismometer.
Seismometer.
Yeah, so...
and this is the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically, if fracking... The government has a law that if fracking goes over 0.5, I think, on the scale, if it's that much of a magnitude tremor, yeah, it's really tiny.
It's like one of your farts, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I suppose.
Near enough, reverberating.
And if one of those happens when they're drilling, then they have to suspend drilling, basically. And that happens a lot of the time that they do the drilling. The fracking companies say that's not an issue. The environmentalists say that is a massive issue because you're causing small earthquakes, which they are really, they're tiny earthquakes. So it basically depends on whether you think that's a threat or not.
But she said she can do a job.
She basically says that that law is a ban on fracking, essentially, because every time you drill down
you're going to have that
you have to suspend it because it goes to 0.6 or whatever. And yeah, so she basically said her job was impossible and pointless, and so she packed it in.
And she also said the government were suffering from delusions.
She said the government was pandering
populism
to what we know to be myths and scare stories, and said the government was in a state of paralysis regarding shale gas.
It's in a state of paralysis on a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think she's wrong, to be honest.
No, I don't think she's wrong. I think that's damn right.
Yeah.
And look, we've covered fracking since the day we bloody started. And there's loads of things about it that are still kind of very emotive and reactionary. But the truth is, it's one of those things that could give us energy security.
Yeah.
And we ought to give it a go under strict conditions that are safe. But if you make the conditions so strict that you can't even do it, what's the point?
I think it's more of an issue that the government's granting approval to new coal mines, to be honest, personally.
Well, we go. Well, let that one slide.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yep, this next story actually feeds into both of those to a certain extent because it's a very sad story about air pollution.
Yes.
So, I don't know, I didn't actually know too much about this until the other day, actually, because I think it's slid under the radar, potentially because this is a poorish black girl from a lower class background, so she hasn't made headlines as if...
if she was a little white blonde girl, I think there would be a bit
generally,
of news.
I think there is more of a stir-up when...
So this is Ella.
They're going to sell more newspapers. But yeah, this girl is Ella Kisai Deborah, I believe. I'm not sure how you pronounce Kisai. But yeah, she basically had a fatal asthma attack in 2013.
Yeah. And she lived near the South Circular.
She lived, I think, 25 metres from the South Circular. Which is
one of the most disgusting roads, like the North Circular. It's just full.
Well, yeah, I live quite close to the North Circular now.
You don't live that close.
Relatively.
You live in a leafy road.
5-minute drive.
With massive lungs of London.
Yeah.
It's a mile and a half to the North Circular.
Well, anyway, back to her.
Oh, God.
She wasn't born with asthma or anything like that.
Right.
And then she got to the age of, I think, about 6 or so.
Yeah.
And she started getting lung infections.
Right.
So in 3 years, between the age of 6 when she got the asthma and then 9 when she died from it, she went to hospital 27 times.
Blimey, poor.
And
poor
basically,
parents.
she died, and they said, oh, she's died because of severe respiratory
Asthma,
problems
yeah.
and asthma. And then I think the coroner said something about, oh, wow, I've never seen a kid's lungs this messed up. And
Right.
they noticed that it kind of, her flare-ups coincided with spikes in pollution
Wow.
on the South Circular. None of this has actually been proven, by the way, but this is all
Yeah, this all came out in the evidence,
the evidence that
Yeah.
has led to the new inquest.
which you can report
Yeah.
under privilege,
Yeah, you can.
as long as you attribute it.
But
which
yeah,
they do.
so her mother now is hoping that this new inquest concludes that air pollution was the primary cause of death, and she wants to get air pollution
Yeah.
on her death
and
certificate,
I
which will
know,
be the first time
well,
ever.
yeah, I mean that would be incredible.
Yeah.
And the mayor's been sticking his oar in, hasn't he, for a bit of publicity on this?
Cynical view, but yeah, Sadiq Khan has, he has basically. To be honest, he does quite a lot for air pollution.
Well, I don't know about that. He charges a lot of people for that, but
Are you bitter about the ULEZ?
well, I'm exempt to my gas guzzling diesel. That says it all.
Yeah, So Sadiq Khan has basically supported the mother, and he's
But,
put out.
but the mother's case is a very interesting one because there are so many. I mean, we're very lucky where we're based is quite leafy, and you do feel it when you're in town filming, and then you come back up here. Wow, the air is clearer. And I think of the little kids that go to school right near big busy roads in central London. You see them all the time.
Yeah.
We film in Westminster, and this poor girl. If she didn't have anything from birth,
Yeah.
and literally the particulates. I mean, this could be groundbreaking, really.
Yeah.
If the court, finds that she has been, well, I don't know if she'd be called
I have
unlawfully
a
killed.
feeling that they will, because the levels of pollution are illegal, aren't they, in London anyway?
They're very high.
Her siblings, I think she has siblings, and I don't think they were affected. But I think the conclusion, I'm guessing, will be, certain people have a genetic predisposition to asthma and stuff like that anyway. But her predisposition was triggered solely by air pollution almost.
Do we know how long this is going to go on? Is it this argument?
No.
Well, we'll keep you up to date with that one because that is going to be big news.
Yeah.
And then finally, another slightly, it's quite depressing, these stories. War.
Yes.
What is it good for?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
There we go.
It's not good for anything, but it's happening in Africa, as you all know anyway. But it's happening now because traditionally, war happens because of religion, I guess, water shortages, food shortages. Territory, lots of different reasons. But now, for the first time, really, it's happening because of climate change. It's not just us saying that. That's from the Foreign Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, who's on a 5-day holiday around Africa
Mission.
at the moment. Visiting various countries and basically saying that climate change is causing lots of problems, and he says.
Well, this is basically people fighting for resources, isn't it?
Yeah, violent instability essentially as a result of fighting for resources, and obviously this isn't happening on massive scales yet because we're still, if you believe what climate change proponents say, it's going to get much worse. But at the moment, he's basically saying that grazing lands in Nigeria are being affected, and that's making farmers with fields basically get into conflict with people who are herding animals and stuff like that because they fight over the fertile land because the rest of it's heating up and becoming too arid.
I don't think you can really argue with that.
No, and he actually also says that climate change is contributing to terrorism because it's degrading the land. So farmers are becoming, farmers are becoming a lot poorer, and his poverty. I'd say most people would accept poverty in a lot of these countries is quite a big contributor.
There's definitely
to
a
terrorism.
link between the Somali pirates, who were all basically fishermen,
Yeah.
and the fishing just stopped. So they found, what do we do? Can't fish anymore, so let's kidnap people
Yeah.
and boats. So I can see some of that. I'm not sure about whether it turns someone into a terrorist, but you don't know.
No, he said it's just a contributory factor towards poverty, and then poverty
Well,
undoubtedly is a factor towards terrorism.
There's
So,
not much.
Yeah.
If you've got stories,
Send them in to stories@energylivenews.com.
excellent.
And we'll
Is
check
there-
those out, ignore them if they're bad, and write them up if they're good. So,
Promote them incessantly.
yeah.
Right, it's time for our punch up. Best about.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Maybe we should. We should have a race. During the break, we decided we're going to have a race to see who can get
Who can hench up.
to that physical form.
I watched
quicker.
Glass the other night. Has anyone seen Glass?
Is that a sequel?
Yeah, the sequel to
To Split, is it?
Yeah.
I saw Split and thought that was really awful, that film.
I quite liked it anyway. But what's his name? James McAvoy is normally a weed. He's like really pumped. He's like, whoa!
I liked him in Filth, if you saw that.
Yeah, it's very
On
good.
The Last King of Scotland.
Should we turn this into a film review show?
That would
Quite
be good.
isn't it?
Last King of
Just like-
Scotland, we could
yeah,
tie
we
that
should
back
do that.
to our African conflict
In fact,
story.
we might do a special reviewing films for their environmental messages.
Yeah,
End of the world.
but
End of days.
nothing with Leonardo in.
Leo,
Yeah.
saving the planet.
No, we won't.
And
we won't have
bringing,
him.
talking about saving the planet,
Yes.
this.
God bless them.
Go on then.
The Committee on Climate Change. Your favourite people in the world.
I love them.
So they basically, for those of you who don't know, they are the independent but kind of official advisors to the government that the government has to listen to, really. I don't know how much they have to,
Well,
but
the guidance.
they have to listen to this advice that the committee gives them. And the committee's basically said they've looked into it from more of a scientific point of view,
Yeah.
I'd say, than most climate people that you hear about on the street, Extinction Rebellion, for example.
Beardies.
And they've said that by 2050, the UK could feasibly go zero emissions, so net zero, in terms of science, finance. And yeah, they're saying that they should do it. And the UK government now has kind of been forced into a corner and said they're going to do that. It's not going to be much of a bout this week. I know what you're going to say. And
What
I'm
am I gonna
probably
say?
going to agree with it.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say 2050. Do they realise how soon that is? We would need to stop driving our petrol and diesel cars this afternoon if that's got a chance of working. And I'd say probably.
This is an example of this. Look, we have to cut emissions, everyone knows that, and we should be doing it anyway for the planet. To get to 2050,
Oh, one sec before you start, because you'll like this. They said it will cost between 1% and 2% of GDP.
bullshit. Costs far more than that.
I think it would cost far more than that.
Far more than that. So you look at it, let's take some simple examples. Agriculture, transport,
Aviation. I know that's
aviation, well, transport, yeah.
Food.
Food, well, that's agriculture, yeah, full.
I don't know, most of it nowadays.
Agriculture, transport, yeah, energy, yeah. Then you look at infrastructure,
Yep.
and then you look at the general sustainability side of things. Right? Trying to cut any of that. IT.
Yeah.
Just look at the IT profile.
I think you could do it if they formed a dictatorship and forced us to not go on holiday or
Yeah.
be vegan and
Yeah.
not drive cars.
Okay.
But then there'd be an actual rebellion.
Yeah, if you wanted to do it, there was a good chart on the BBC
Yeah.
showing, one of the biggest things. We've come, let's be honest, we've come a long way from where we were when I was young and he was just a sperm back in 1990. The levels have dropped loads, but it's really interesting to see food, what we consume, the footprint of that in carbon is just as much as it was.
Yeah.
And we eat too much meat. We eat
Yeah,
too
people are
much stuff.
cutting. It's
that's-
becoming more acceptable
Yeah.
to cut down, but yeah, everyone still
You'll
eats
never
it.
get to that unless we say, right, get rid of it.
Or make it really
eat, or
expensive.
eat bugs.
Yeah.
Eat bugs, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you've got our computers. IT energy has rocketed in the last 10 years.
And we'll continue to do
And
so.
will continue to do so.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get rid of our technology. Stop the show now.
Yeah. Turn it off.
Transport.
Luddites. We could become vegan
We
Luddites.
can
and
become
save the
vegan
world.
Luddites.
No, but I think it's... I don't know, you need to have a target to make something happen, don't you?
Yeah, but we got targets. What we need is investment in the right technologies and people doing things.
Yeah.
And they ain't going to do anything.
No, I personally think the government should kind of be a bit... They should be a bit authoritarian. Didn't think I'd ever
It's
say
called a
that.
dictatorship.
If the targets are there
Okay,
anyway, we might as
so,
well
all
bring
right.
them forward.
You can't go to Spain this summer.
Elena's stuck here, so that's fine.
Yeah. And
She can't fly either.
people can't have second homes.
Oh.
Bad news for your mum and dad. 1 car per household.
Yeah, that's okay.
Your wife works, you work. She works one way, takes the kids, you work another way.
No, it would disrupt our whole way of life.
No tube.
I
No
ride
bus.
ride my bike everywhere now. I'm a Londoner, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I did actually. You know, I love Extinction Rebellion, and then
Actually,
they did
we-
annoy me a little bit actually.
Oh.
because
Oh, they've started to turn.
yeah, these filthy hippies. No, I do like them, but I don't like whoever's in charge of their Twitter.
Yeah, go on.
Because obviously, I think the government has goals which are probably too slow. Extinction Rebellion saying we need to solve climate change in the next 12 years, which
But
is
no
which is
answer.
laughably soon. And the closest anyone has come to actually being behind climate change, but trying to come up with an acceptable way it could be done, is this report.
And they
So these are
poo-pooed
the one group that Extinction Rebellion should have actually supported.
And what did they say?
Their closest allies. And they said, oh, this is a betrayal, they're not ambitious enough. And I think you need a dose of realism. I
Well,
think.
we know a Beardy Weedy, because he's a Beardy Weedy, Adam Woodall. And Adam, you said, oh, did we cover it? Of course we covered it. He loves them. So
Yeah.
we're going to invite Adam on to Short Fuse in the next few weeks to talk about being a rebel.
The Adam
and-
argument.
And we'll have the Adam's apple, and we'll have a little bit of banter.
Yeah.
Because their goals may be noble, but they have zero tolerance. And you can't just say to people, do something, okay, we're going to do this. Well, that's not good enough.
Yeah, and especially because the closest that anyone's come to agreeing with them so far is this group. But yeah.
I tell you the thing that will change, right? Science, efficiency. My car, which is a new diesel car, is 50 times more efficient than my old petrol Golf.
Yeah, it's amazing the
Yeah.
progress we've made already.
Our phones will get more efficient. Our computers will get more efficient.
My car's
our
Volkswagen,
fridges.
so no comment.
No comment. But that's the thing. But it's really expensive to buy a new car, right?
Takes time.
Takes time.
Yeah.
So you've got to make it so that the technologies become much more efficient, and we work on cleaner energy at the same time. But if we want to do it, there's only one thing. You're going to have to pay.
Yep.
And buddy, if you're living on low wages, you ain't going to be able to pay.
Yep. Better give me a pay rise then.
I'll let that one pass. Okay, so there you go. What do you think? Do you believe with eco hypocrite, posh boy, or do you believe in working class realist?
Nah.
Thank you very much. Dates for your diary?
17th February 1991. This is my date of birth.
What's the
We
first
also
date?
have the. What are we doing? Chronological or favourite
Yes,
order?
chronological.
The 6th of.
No,
15th of June.
no.
I don't know, the 12th of September.
God. When is Tess? You don't know, do
Yeah,
you?
Tess is the 15th of June.
No, you idiot. It's the 5th of June.
Ah,
don't,
5th.
don't help him,
5th
Robert.
of June. So I was sending out so many emails, it's kind of riddled my brain. The
Right,
Energy
5th.
Solutions Show. We've got the first AI manager there.
Yes.
Live demo. I mean,
Yes.
that's the first time that's
What's it
happening.
called?
You've got to come and see it. Emma.
Yes.
But I believe it's a unisex Emma.
Anyway, get on with it.
Yeah, so you should come along. There's going to be loads of energy solutions there, whether
Yes.
that's EV charging, solar panels on the roof of your building.
Markets and trading, obviously.
Yeah, lots of different ways you can save energy, basically. Save money and save on your emissions.
Get yourself
So-
registered. You'll be getting emails from us.
It's not on the 15th of June.
It's on the 5th of June,
Yeah.
and you should be there in Birmingham
Yeah.
at the venues.
Millennium Point.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, I know about Birmingham.
Yeah, I know you know about Birmingham. And then,
Telca.
shall I just show you the date?
I know that one. The 26th of June. So it's a bit later.
Is it
19 days
award-winning?
after, in fact.
Award-winning.
It's an award-winning awards ceremony. And it's basically the Energy Live Consultancy Awards, and it's happening in London. It's black tie, so dress up smart. I'll be in a tuxedo, so there's no reason not to come. If you want to get more information, basically go on our website and click the Telca Events tab. But it's got all sorts of awards, such as Most Trusted Consultancy, yada, yada, yada. You probably know them all by now, but go on, check it out,
Do you
get the
know what?
nominations in, and turn up.
They're done. Watch out for the short list coming up.
Well, what
in the
if,
next-
what if someone's missed it? They've been away.
Before we end the show, there's been a balk
Yeah.
happening. There's been a couple of balks. There's been a book on business,
We've been balking
which I've
mad.
been balking, talking about bods, talking about hiring people. That's what I did.
And firing.
I was about how many good hires I'd made, and then the occasional loser.
The occasional flash in the pan.
Yeah, Flash is all right. And then finally, now this made me sad. Chewie's gone.
I don't even know about this. What is?
What?
Who is that?
Peter Mayhew has died.
Oh, the actor of
The actor
Chewie?
who played Chewie.
I thought it was just a really,
Right, so
really
I'm
hairy
going to
guy.
end. I'm going to educate you. So Peter Mayhew, loved him. He was, guess what he did?
Acted as Chewie in Star Wars.
No, before that.
I'm not sure.
He was a hospital porter,
Wow. Career change.
walking around a hospital,
Yeah.
and he was 7'2". And George Lucas was looking for someone to play Chewbacca. And originally, it was going to be David Prowse, who ended up being Darth Vader. He was
Yeah.
6'6". And then he saw this porter
Tall
bloke.
cast.
Tall cast. Everyone else was 5'2".
Yeah.
Yoda. Yoda. And then he saw this porter and went, "My God, mate, you're tall.
Yeah.
Have you done any acting?" And he went, "No, I haven't." So what would you have to do? You could just go, "Brrr."
So he only ever acted as
Chewbacca. I think he played a few giants. But what a
After.
gentleman.
Yeah.
Lovely man.
And
And
how-
Chewie will not be the same because they've replaced him with a Finnish guy now.
Well, he's CGI'd now, isn't he?
Yeah,
by
he is
the looks of
CGI'd
things?
and he doesn't look right. Because this, I was really upset when Rob put this picture up. But we've got no money, so we have to use what we got. And this is new Chewie, and he never looked like that.
No.
I think they should bring back the old one.
It's like,
We're
it's like the Mars bars when they changed the recipe.
Exactly.
It's not the same.
It's like Opal Fruits becoming Starburst and Marathon becoming Snickers. You know nothing about this.
I know about the Opal fruit.
Or
one.
Jif becoming Sif.
I remember I was in a petrol station with my dad on
Yeah.
a Sunday morning. Yeah. I
And
remember when
that moment,
they
your
didn't
dad
have
went,
Opal fruits
What did you say?
anymore.
Oh no, look at this.
Change happens, son. You just have to get used to it.
Ah, God. Anyway, on that rip-roaring note, we'll see you in a galaxy far from... Well, I won't. I'm off for a while. So unfortunately,
I'll be running this ship.
you've got him. And thankfully, you've got Pre. See you soon.